Finals week. There's your tie-in. So this opens up in the map room where...
This happened while we were gone?
Apparently the magical map showcasing all of Equestria needed to install an update. Why didn't it show these areas before? It's shown areas they've never been to, so that's not it. I guess the map just does as it pleases. Anyways, we almost immediately hit the audience with some continuity reminiscing, and everyone who didn't watch the movies could be so lost.
What about that unicorn, the one who attacked Canterlot? Tempest. I invited her to come to Ponyville, but she wanted to spread the word of the Storm King's defeat and share what she learned about friendship.
And we couldn't afford Emily Blunt this time around.
Y'all think that's why the map grew? Friendship quests beyond Equestria?
I hope not. I've had quite enough life-threatening adventures, thank you very much.
You know, that actually brings up a good point. The series is starting its 8th season, and these ponies have been through more death-defying adventures than your average gaming protagonist. By the law of averages, they should be dead by now.
I mean, the world is filled with so many different creatures who know nothing about friendship. We need help if we're gonna teach them all about friendship. Lots of help.
Perhaps, but where does one go to learn about friendship?
Here. They can all go here, because we're gonna open a school.
Okay, I know this is a Hasbro property made to sell toys, but you don't have to make everything sound like a sales pitch. Also, that's a bit of a leap in logic, kind of missing the in-between of your reasoning, like, oh, there's a bunch of kids who are hungry, why don't we open a restaurant? But then again, I shouldn't be complaining that she's actually utilizing her role as a princess. There's this very interesting video made by a good friend of mine named Jack Nolan, who goes by Commando Solo on his YouTube channel. In one of his How to Fix videos, he talks about how it would have made more sense in the context of the narrative for Twilight to have become a diplomat to other lands after gaining her wings, and Celestia would have ascended Twilight for this reason because she needed someone to do it while she ruled Equestria. After all, you should probably make sure your country is okay first before trying to meddle someplace else. So in a roundabout way, Twilight has essentially become Equestria's diplomat. Should have happened about 4 seasons ago, but still, it happened.
My little pony.
Who's got the hot hand?
I think a school of friendship is a wonderful idea, Twilight. I'll help in any way I can.
Oh, so you won't be written out of an episode for once. Turns out in order to get the school made, she has to go through something called the EEA, which we eventually found out stands for Equestrian Electronic Arts, which is an organization that oversees all pony schools, including Celestia's.
Even your school? But you're you!
Not even a princess can do whatever she likes when it comes to shaping young pony minds.
Well, Equestria isn't as monarchical as we thought. There are limits to their power. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence growing that this is more like the modern British monarchy more than a classical monarchy. Very interesting. So Twilight brings her proposal to the Wizengamu? What the heck? And it's run by Chancellor Naysay.
This guy! And can we trust you to follow through with this plan? Or will you leave the school unattended to gallop off on your adventures?
Wow, I thought this was a series premiere, not a finale.
Provisional EEA approval is granted. We will need to observe your school up and running before it can be fully accredited.
So when does she blow it? Okay. Then we see that, wow, how on earth did they set that up so fast? Where did they get the money, the supplies? Did they proof it out of another magical music box from Fable 2? Why does it not look like an utter eyesore like Twilight's Friendship Castle? These are important questions.
This! Us! Teaching? They're gonna think I'm an egghead!
Okay, both my girlfriend and my brother are teachers, and it is not that easy to become one. You have to go through minimum 5 years of college, certification, testing, internships, the whole shebang for a career of little respect, not enough pay, and a bunch of other responsibilities that shouldn't be theirs. And yes, Twilight's friends are great people, but not sure they're the most qualified to be teaching children. Especially Rainbow and Pinkie. And what about Applejack? She has a life. So does Rarity. I don't get it.
Well, the students are gonna love my confetti cannon class. It's gonna be a blast!
I foresee this happening with everyone's limbs intact.
And you're sure you want us to be teachers in classrooms?
Thank you, Applejack. So, Twilight, your justification?
The EEA is very clear on how schools should be run.
Twilight, that's a very good question. Why are they the ones that should be teaching?
I know it's not some big adventure against the forces of evil.
Twilight, Still waiting for that good reason.
I can't run a school of friendship without.
You gonna ask Cheerly about this? Twilight! 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 Okay, fine, just sure. Ignore me, whatever. We have the first day of school to get to, and Twilight has a bit of a surprise.
One thing I forgot to mention. It's not just ponies.
Oh yeah, other places exist.
Flew all the way from Griffinstone to introduce Gallus.
Rainbow Dash, right? Gilda told me about you. You're a teacher? Thought you'd be cooler.
Okay, you just know Gilda put him up to that. Like, something like this.
Okay, Dash is one of my best friends, and I know her really well. So when you get there, rib Dash about being a teacher and that not being cool.
Why?
I'll find it hilarious.
I am General Seaspray of Her Majesty Queen Novo's Navy.
Hasbro couldn't afford her either. Wait, Navy? What Navy? We didn't see any hypocrite Navy in the movie. Well, then again, the Royal Guard never showed up in that movie either, so...
In the arms of the angel.
You know, for as much as I'm expecting things to go horribly wrong, it's actually really cool to see all of these different races in one place.
Princess Celestia helped me reach out to all the kingdoms. After all, friendship is something that needs to be shared with every creature.
Does anyone else besides me find that suffix a wee bit demeaning? Why not just say everyone? Oh, I forgot who I'm dealing with.
Every pony.
Every pony.
Any pony. That's crazy!
But who cares? We have a cringy song to get to.
School of friendship, first day of class.
Yeah, while I'm not going to be humming it anytime soon, I do like a bit of what it represents. School systems can sometimes get so wrapped up in following the book and rules that it doesn't account that some kids are different. Some kids are kinesthetic learners who don't do well with just sitting down and taking notes. Some are more inclined for art than math, or vice versa. Some have learning disabilities or are too advanced for the class. Some kids don't speak the language or may have visual or auditory impairments that need to be accommodated or else they learn absolutely nothing. Now, put all those problems into one classroom of 35 students and you have modern public education. Each child's situation is different, and even though many teachers want to accommodate everyone, they are required to follow state and federal regulations, and that often ties their hands on what they want to cover and how they do it. Thank you, standardized testing being the only way we measure how schools are doing. Thanks a lot. So the international students get into a squabble in the hall, addressing their differences.
Aw, are we not being sweet and friendly enough for you, pony?
Maybe dragons and griffins are just too tough for friendship.
Okay, this is kind of weird. You're telling me that unless the magic purple pony princess comes and blesses you with knowledge that most 5-year-olds already know, no one knows anything about friendship? What does that say about literally everyone else in Equestria? Does no one know how to be friends at all unless Twilight comes in and sanctions it? It almost makes it sound like only ponies could possibly understand it. Now that I think about it, there's a certain scene later that's gonna hammer that nail in the coffin.
Everyone, go to your next class.
See? That sounds so much better than every creature. Or every pony for that matter. Why not just say everyone? So the main six go to talk to Principal Twilight about things not going well.
I get it. Things are getting off to a rougher start than expected. But that's okay.
Who are you and what have you done with Twilight Sporkle?
Character development happened. But yeah, normally Twilight would be freaking out something fierce, but it looks like she's managed to rein in her neuroticism for the most part. That or she just has such a faith in the system working that she doesn't feel she needs to worry.
The EEA will be here this afternoon for Friends and Family Day. They need to see a school that follows their guidelines.
Even if those guidelines aren't working?
Well then, we have to try harder and make sure they do.
Okay, Twilight, honey, darling, if fights are breaking out in your friendship school, you might be doing something wrong.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
So then we see a couple kids skipping class for a mental health break. Yay for self-diagnosis. But they're about to unintentionally get busted by Fluttershy, so thinking fast, Ocellus the Changeling transforms into Rarity and...
A generosity field trip, darling. I'm taking the students to the lake to look at our divine reflections.
Best Pony just got roasted! The kids go out to the lake and start bonding, like friendship is occurring on their own terms, through just talking and relaxing. Remember how in the second episode where Celestia didn't tell Twilight about the elements and stuff because friendship has to occur naturally instead of forcing it? Just goes to show that sometimes, even an expert can forget the fundamentals. But Chancellor Naysay arrives, with children missing, on a day where things need to be perfect. Ooh, the delicious tension. They run into Rainbow Dash, who is looking for the missing kids, but not wanting him to suspect anything, they do what any honest and pragmatic person would do in this situation. Lie through their gosh dang teeth.
Somewhere else! Doing a loyalty lesson!
Right now, your brainwaves are giving the amazing Kreskin a pounding headache.
And to always be honest in any situation.
Honesty is imperative. Princess, are we going in circles?
Okay, even though Naysay is eventually revealed to be a horrible person, I like how he's used here. I like the fact that he can see through BS and he delivers humor without saying any jokes. I believe the trope is called the comically serious, and it's used pretty well. But the kids get carried away and accidentally wreck things.
Those are students? But you said you were opening this school to protect Equestria.
No, she didn't. You kind of put words in her mouth there. And then we get into this part.
To defend ponies from dangerous creatures who don't have our best interests at heart. Oh, and how do you know these creatures won't take what they have learned here and use it against us?
Shut up, shut up!
Friendship isn't just for ponies.
It should be.
This is really uncomfortable.
Maybe yaks don't eat ponies, go! Well, then perhaps you should return to your kind.
Yeah, remember all those times how I pointed out how racist ponies seem to be? Well, I think we found the culprit. This flaming bigot is in charge of the education system. While it is pretty much a retroactive patch, I think it's a good patch. The ponies' opinions and attitudes towards other races was a huge problem that the show really needed to address. After all, you can't quite have your characters profess to be authorities on friendship when they treat other races the way they do. Now, does it fix every instance of racism in the show's past? No, of course it doesn't, due in part to how far after the fact it comes, but at least it offers an explanation and uses it to tackle a serious issue. So after the Chancellor's rather shade-filled remarks, the other leaders decide that enough is enough, and it's pretty disheartening.
It's fine. We know not every pony sees us the way you do. We're used to it.
Twilight threatens to tell Celestia, but Naysay has the perfect counter. Sort of.
When she hears you close the school because
you failed to meet the EEA's standards? Irresponsible teachers, students skipping class, endangering ponies. Your school is a disaster.
Yeah, I hate that he's right. Up until he finishes his sentence.
Perhaps if you had higher standards for who was admitted, this could have been avoided.
Bit of a misdiagnosis, but then again, he's the villain, so he's supposed to be wrong.
By order of the EEA, I am shutting this school down.
Over-dramatic and needless emphasis of a word to a point where it becomes hilarious? Yep, definite villain. And because I'm an idiot and I forgot to bring my second battery pack, and, you know, technically this is the end of part 1, gonna have to film the rest of this at Everfree Northwest. Let's go! Alright, so I got a hotel room all to myself, not sharing it with anybody. Cut to later.
Twilight? You feeling okay?
She made a pillow fort and is listening to depressing violin on a phonograph. What do you think? But who cares? We have a Twilight freakout to get to. And I'm really excited. I mean, this is a really, really big screw up, at least compared to Lesson 0 and It's About Time, and those freakouts were amazing, so can't wait to see what we get here.
I'm supposed to be the Princess of Friendship, and all I did was make enemies with Equestria's allies, upset my friends, and get my school unaccredited. There is no bright side.
Is it just me, or did that seem a little phoned in? Like, this was literally Twilight's worst failure as the Princess of Friendship. She's sunk into a depressive fit where she's been crying nonstop, likely for hours. Her voice should be filled with anguish and heartbreak. You know, a little oomph. Instead, we got...
There is no bright side!
I'm upset, I guess! Whatever. Her friends try to cheer her up with varying degrees of failure.
I find that nothing brightens my mood like a new ensemble.
She looks like a clown. You made her a dress to cheer her up, and you made her look like a clown. Hey, if you're going for a passive-aggressive insult, I salute you.
You didn't tell me this was a pity party! I would have brought
Ladies and gentlemen, the best line in the show ever! So Twilight heads back to the school to think about things when Starlight shows up.
Every pony's already tried to cheer me up. It won't work.
I'm not gonna cheer you up. I'm gonna tell you what you did wrong.
You know, I wrote down in the script that I was supposed to grab popcorn for reacting to the scene. I forgot, and I really regret it.
You gave up too easily. Hey, you made me a guidance counselor. That means tough love.
Okay, so here's something I want to talk about. Stephen Covey outlines in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that usually when someone is upset, people just want to be listened to. They aren't receptive to advice, and especially not receptive to judgment. After listening to them get whatever it is off their chest and making them feel like their feelings are acknowledged and understood, they're more receptive to advice and even criticism. Listen first, advise later. And it's seen here. After Twilight poured her heart out to her friends...
There is no bright side.
Sorta. She was in a more receptive state of mind. Starlight pounced and gave what Twilight needed.
But the EEA rulebook doesn't matter. You can write your own rules because you're doing something new, something important.
Okay, I know it's a pony show, and comparing it to real life is a little bit fallacious, but a school not being accredited is a little more nuanced than they're making it out to be here. Your education, and especially your degree, doesn't look impressive to an employer if it's not been approved. Things like transferring between colleges become more difficult as well. Now, to be fair, not all schools need accreditation. If you're reputable enough in your community, you can make do on that alone, which seems to be what they're doing here. There are also accreditation associations that make sure the accredited schools meet standards on international levels. Schools have been put on probation, suspended, or outright forced to shut down if they didn't pass accreditation for any of a number of reasons. Not just education, but discipline practices are also taken into account. Some associations don't look kindly on schools that suspend or expel more students, regardless of circumstance. So yeah, there's a lot about education that this episode kind of glosses over, but at the same time, it doesn't really need to be said.
You're right. Why we're doing this is way more important than how we're doing this.
I'm so glad context is a thing, because out of it, that sounds frighteningly like the ends justify the means, and I refuse to pause the review to rant and rave about why I believe that philosophy is garbage. So Twilight goes to her friends to revive the school, but there are 3 problems. Problem number 1, school is still unaccredited, much to Bookhorse's delicious pain. 2, they don't have students. 3, when the main 6 try to round up said students, we find out that they're missing, and it's turning into an international incident.
And here we go with the politics.
When the school closed, they didn't want to say goodbye to each other. They claimed they ran away to stay together.
I can't believe it! They did learn friendship!
Oh, so it's your fault they're missing.
Sorry.
So, time is of the essence. If the children aren't found, every kingdom is going to war. Okay, world leaders of Equestria, real talk here. If you're going to war over a relatively small slight like that, you're pretty much vindicating all of the racist rhetoric against you. Let me repeat that. You are making the racist right. Not good. So they try to investigate, and they seem awfully calm considering World War friendship is looming overhead. And who should step in right on cue? The most guilty-looking face you will ever see.
Guilty.
But yes, in a display refreshingly uncharacteristic of the show, the characters very quickly and logically deduce that Sandbar is hiding the others.
We gotta follow it!
Then we go to the castle of the 2 sisters. Oh my gosh, it actually made a return.
I just found stairs!
Okay, yeah, we gotta have the quirky, weird cloud cuckoo-lander of the group who says weird things because, lol, I'm so random, which is honestly getting really tiresome and...
We don't have anything like them underwater because, you know, no way to climb them.
Huh. Well, that shut me up. So then the group discovers, what the heck is that?
It's a puckwudgie. Maybe I can make friends with it.
The kids are about to get more needles than a salty Halo 2 player when the main 6 rescue them in one of the strangest action sequences ever.
Blasting off again! Oh, did you see that? Rainbow Dash was like, and then, whoa, the puckwudgies went flying!
just lived it.
Oh great, these two are those YouTube commenters. Funny quote from the video that spoils a really funny joke. Yeah, I saw the same video too. How clever I am that I put someone down like this. Why do I feel like I'm attacking myself? So then the main six confirm that the kids are safe and ask them to come back to the school, and they're understandably apprehensive. But then the others explain that things will be different this time.
Oh yeah! With class run my way, it'll be 220% cooler. Plus, all your nations won't go to war if you come back with us. Bonus!
Only Pinky could make blackmail this hilarious. So they return to the school and Twilight destroys the seal, prompting Chancellor Severus Snape to show up.
Classes won't start at all. The EEA has spoken, and none shall pass.
Eat your heart out, Gandalf. That was epic.
School was disorganized.
Yeah.
The teachers unqualified.
Yeah.
And those dangerous and unpredictable students put ponies' lives in danger.
Not really. Hey, can we get a slapstick montage? Yeah, I think you're over-exaggerating.
It's true that my school of friendship is EEA unaccredited.
Look, she said it without doing the eye thing.
I don't know what's funnier, the fact that she didn't twitch or the fact that Spike paused long enough to point it out.
Allowing all of these creatures to attend your school, changing the rules for them, it simply won't work.
I seem to recall something about Earth ponies, unicorns, and Pegasi doing something similar. Don't you?
Oh! But yes, vindicated by history. You can just tell that Celestia is having the time of her life pointing this out to Naysay. But I do think it's interesting that Celestia is essentially watching history repeat itself right in front of her. That's gotta be a trip and a half for her.
I promise you, Chancellor, my school will help protect Equestria.
Or destroy it.
Okay, is anyone else getting a Lex Luthor vibe from this guy? Intelligent, powerful, racist? Seriously, you can't say a line like that and not have us expect you to become a major villain later. But whatever, we got a new cornball pop song with some adequate and cheery singing with absolutely nothing noteworthy in it.
Some things you just can't teach with books.
Who are you and what have you done with Twilight Sparkle?
Aw, fine! If you promise to stop singing, Smolder can stay!
Okay, at this point, where are we at the fourth wallow meter? Okay, a little bit above Ed and Nettie, but not quite Sonic Boom. Everyone goes into the school, we get a couple of funny moments, and that was School Daze. It was pretty good. I liked how this episode addressed a lot of things that were hanging complaints for the show, particularly the way ponies treated other races and the fact that, hey, other races exist. Why don't they integrate? Seeing them all together like this was interesting and made for some great moments. Also, while this episode was a little hard to watch at points, I think that was the intent. It wasn't afraid to take some risks with the writing, which made the moments of conflict a little more real. Also, I swear they're setting something up with Chancellor Naysay. He was a very dark and conniving villain, and the way he left with such a foreboding statement makes me excited to see what the show has planned with him. As for the moral, it's definitely something I can get behind. I'm a little on the fence that they just decided all of a sudden to start a school about friendship, but the lesson of treating others kindly despite significant physical and cultural differences is an excellent lesson for kids. While a good message though, it did get a wee bit cluttered with other messages like running the school and such, though it is nice to see Twilight actually putting her princess role into practice for once. Also, this was a funny episode. A few of the jokes were hit or miss, but none of the misses were particularly painful. And when the jokes succeeded, they were drop dead hilarious. I guess if I had to nitpick, I don't like that the non-pony races instantly wanted to go to war. That, as I said before, that kind of makes the racist right. But maybe I'm just seeing things. Because overall, I think this was a solid episode. I'm the Fiery Joker, and I should probably get back to finishing those finals before the caffeine wears off.